Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Juggernaut, and this is Deck of Ashes. These will be my first impressions of the game slash preview. Well, here's the thing. They're not really first impressions, as I've finished the prologue of the game, which was relatively lengthy, and pretty much showed you everything you need to know about the game, and now this is the campaign. So, they're sort of like, I'm sort of at the middle point, if you will. They're not really first impressions, but, you know, regardless of the fact. Let's get into it. So, for the first bit of the video, I'm going to explain the different gameplay mechanics. I'm going to tell you what the game is essentially, and then I'll sort of get into more to praising and criticizing it later down the line. But first of all, there is quite a bit to explain. Now, the game isn't necessarily overly complicated, but it does have quite a few features that I do need to discuss and show you. So how would I describe the game first? Well, it's a little bit of a mix of something like Hands of Fate and what was that other one that there was another CCG? Slay the Spire. Yeah. So if you sort of took the two and mixed them, this is sort of what I envision the game being. Namely, you play a character, in this particular instance, in early access. The game is, by the way, in early access, so bear that in mind. In this particular I don't know the name of the character right now. Ah, yeah, there you go. Lucia the Eternal Flame. There is another character that you can play, but not right now. That's going to be available later down the line. So, it is a game where you have a deck of cards, a deck of ashes even, a battle deck, and right now the battle deck contains these cards. What you need to realise is that you use these cards in combat against various monsters, who don't really have cards of their own. They have one card that they play over and over again, most of the time. Sometimes they have varying abilities, but they don't play by the same rules as you do. That being, this is your deck of ashes. So this is the battle deck, this is the deck of ashes. These are all the cards that you have played. Once you play a card, it is burnt. It's turned to ash, right? You can't play that ash, you can't play that card again until you visit this guy and renew all your cards, or until you camp and renew some of them yourself. So that's very important, right? So right now we have five fireballs costing 3 mana each, 1 liquid fire, 1 healing bomb, and 1 blazing torch. Now, camping works like this. You pretty much move on the map, and I'll show you the map in a second, and you get to a camp spot. This is basically a camp spot. Also, there is a way to sort of rest and camp, quasi-camp if you will, after a battle. You get 10 points after a battle. I'll show you when we get into the combat, I'll talk more about that. But essentially you get 10 points. You can spend some of them on restoring health. Each rest point is 10 health points. Or you can spend rest points on renewing your cards. Alright, that's about it. So, also, in the camp, you have access to 3 different characters. The blacksmith can craft various cards for you to use. The herbalist, well, fairly obvious. Restores health, restores health, restores health. That's about it. You can also cure ailments, increase certain stats, and you can get various upgrades for resources that you collect. You collect resources by exploring the map. We'll get to the map in a second. There is also the merchant, who you can sell recipes to him. Mind you, when you sell a recipe, you can no longer craft them. You can buy recipes, and when you buy a recipe, the blacksmith can craft you what you just bought a recipe for. So that's this. And you can also take various different upgrades that, well, this one increases rest points, this one increases yada yada yada, right. Also, the Ashmaster. After you die, you will be resurrected at this site. That costs 100. Renew all cards is free. You can only do it once, obviously, because you can't renew the same card multiple times. If it's either in the deck of ashes or it's not. This is free every single time. Remember that. You can also burn cards if you have cards you don't like. You can also buy upgrades here for various resources. So right now, I'm going to go over to the blacksmith and I'm going to craft myself something. Let's see, draw a card with 2, so this is draw. I don't need draw because I don't have a lot of cards, I only have 8. And monsters are relatively tough. So, Strain 4 deals 0 to 6 damage to an opponent. This is not very good. Really, these are not very good. Let's see if we can't buy a recipe for something a little bit better from you. So, Inner Fire, Strain 30, draw 3 cards that cost 0 mana points. Not really good. Power of the Burn, increase your strength by 1 for each burn applied on you. Not really. Scroll of Supremacy, non-playable Ash. So, non-playable, when turned to Ash, you get the following effect. Play with this card in the prologue, pretty good. I think I'll get it, and then we'll work towards enabling it later down the line. So let's leave camp. This is the map. You can head in, you can follow the roads, and go to pretty much any direction you want. So these are unoccupied tiles, these are combat tiles. You just mouse over and you see what's there. So, this requires 1 key to open. Do we have a key? No, we do not. So let's go to this empty tile over here. And we found nothing. There is also this. This is the meter of the master, if you will. When this meter is full, the character of the region will find the camp and battle you. You may strengthen your character and prepare for the fight with the ruler by playing the game, essentially. This is what this describes as playing the bloody game. So there is a timer as well. This is the sort of... I mean, this along with the cards, very much like Slay the Spire. However, when you get into the combat, which we're going to do right now... here we go. You realise that it's not really like that. So this thing has 2 cards. Sting does 5 damage and reduces max health by 5 until the end of the battle, each hit. It also has this. When this character dies, adds Malaria to the player's battle deck. It's a card, we'll see what it does. That's it. This thing doesn't have any new moves. Occasionally some monsters will heal or will do various things. They have various effects. They'll add certain cards to your deck and so on and so forth. But he doesn't have a deck of ashes like I do. He just has certain abilities that you can use, so he doesn't play by the same rules. Now, one thing that I find really annoying is targeting. I can't just do that, right? I can't cast the spell like that because I need to target it. Now, okay, let's target it like that. Yeah, here's the thing. Would it be that difficult to be able to target like so? Pretty much like in Hearthstone, you know? Because it's so convenient. This is just annoying. Minor thing, maybe, but again, I find it a little bit annoying. Sorry. Alright, let's use that. Let's use the Blazing Torch on it as well. And that's our mana. So now we end the turn. Except do we? Well, here's the thing. You can send 3 of these cards to the bottom of the deck. Not the deck of ashes, to your battle deck. And I'm going to send these 2. Because I'm never going to be able to cast 2 fireballs in the same turn. I'm going to do that. This is very relevant for multiple reasons. First, certain combinations that you can do, builds that you can do, and also certain card effects. So, for example, I have a Parasite card. This is non-playable, it's useless. I either want to burn it with something, if I can, because there are cards that essentially mean that, you know, you play it and you have to burn, you have to discard another card. They say discard, I think a much more lore-fitting and explanatory term is burn it, because you do that, if you play one of those cards, you mouse over the card you want to discard, there's a flame that's drawn on the card itself. So it really is like you burn the card, you don't discard it. But anyway, be that as it may, let's apply burn to this thing. See what that does. So deals 2 damage to a character for 5 turns. That's not very good, honestly. Alright, and then we will send this to the bottom of the deck because we don't need it. And he's going to hit us again. Alright, so we will then play Fireball, we will play Blazing Torch, and that leaves him at 10. End of turn, that's it. Now, what happens if you run out of cards? Which seems very conceivable, right? I mean, what, I play these two and then that's it. What if it had more health? Well, then the game comes in and helps you with this. It's like, my timing's perfect, I know. This is what you do when you actually prepare for a video. This is the Ash Pact. Strain basically means you deal damage to yourself. Renew 5 random cards from the deck of Ashes, and this will keep coming back until you defeat the enemy or until you're dead. So the sort of blue renew, tint to the card means that it's going to renew itself time and time again. I mean, this card won't, you'll still burn it, but you'll get another one next turn. So, at any rate, let's just finish this battle by casting another Fireball, and that's it. So, we've won 10 of those things and 20 of those things. Now, we can spend, let's say, 1 or 2 of our health points, or 1 or 2 of our rest points on this IHP. Alternatively, we can spend it on renewing cards that we've lost. Now, here's the thing. Our HP has been restored at the end of the battle, a little bit on its own, and that's because of... How much is restored? I think that it shows exactly how much is restored somewhere, but I can't see that right now. At any rate, these are the amount of rest points we have. We use them to do a variety of things. So, let us craft this thing, and then renew all the cards that we lost. And there we go. We can also extract from here, and again we find nothing. Alright, interesting. Let's go to another battle. And you keep doing this, basically, until you either reach the end of the level, the campaign, whatever you want to call it, or until you beat the big boss of the region. That's the ruler meter on the top. I guess that'll depend on the type of campaign. Maybe they'll add some different mods, maybe they'll add some different modes in it or whatever, but essentially that's it. So, this thing has fangs, deals 3 to 5 damage each turn, so we don't need to really worry about health. I'm going to save this until I get... Ooh, I don't have that card, do I? No, I don't. Okay, in which case, we're just going to use it. I'm going to discard this one. There you go. Now, that Parasite is permanently removed. Until we renew it, but why would you renew a Parasite card, right? So, it's gone, and we can't use it anymore, and it's not going to be in our deck anymore. Not just in this battle, but in the ones to come as well. So we could also do Fireball. I think we should. And that's about it. I'm going to keep these cards because we're going to need them. Well, I doubt we're going to need this, but it's better to... No, we're not going to use that. Alright, so let's do 10. Let's do 5. And then how am I going to kill you? Well, I can never cast 2 fireballs, so let's put this one away. Let's do Fireball, and I could do Blazing Torch. That'll do 5, but then I need to do 3, and I don't really have a way of doing that, so let's just wait for a turn, take the damage. Hopefully it's 3. Yeah, there you go. Lovely. And we just cast another Fireball at it. And that's it. It's dead. So, in comes the complexity of which cards do you use, how much do you hold back, so on and so forth. And it really goes to show that health is definitely a resource. Now, last time our health regenerated, this time it didn't. I wonder if it's a bug, because the max HP is lowered with the Parasite, and now it's... I don't know. Also, weren't we supposed to get malaria? Potentially. We were potentially supposed to get malaria. What a sentence, eh? What a sentence. I need to craft this, but I guess we can do that later. Alright, there we go. It is an early alpha. There are plenty of overpowered builds that you might find. So the developers say. I haven't found any, honestly. But, ooh. Oh dear. Alright. Portal not activated. Alright, let's go to this random event, see what we can find. Nothing. Random event, see what we can find. Ambush. Alright. Oh boy. Dispel all burn applied applied all characters. On all characters, sorry. Fit that a little bit better in. Strength, increases strength by 2 for each burn dispelled. So I can't burn him. That's unfortunate. Is there anything I want to burn from my own hand? No. So in that case, this just does plain out more damage. And I'll toss one of these. And then I'll play this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to be cutting it close, but I think we can get him. I think we can get him in due time. Right, so we switched that out for full speed strike. Deals between 3 and 5. I'm going to apply burn to him. Now hear me out. There's reason behind my madness. I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to... He doesn't do a lot of damage, so I'm not going to use this card. But I will return this to the deck. The reason is I need to do a little bit extra on top of everything to secure the kill. And this damage over time is going to help. So we toss that, and we toss that. Brings him down to 19, and we have one more Blazing Torch in the deck. Or we don't. Because he got rid of it. Alright, suppose it's acceptable. So what the hell do we do now? Well, we hit him with that. He's down to 7. I can't kill him yet, so we need to do one of these. And that'll give me 3. Oh dear, oh dear. I suppose I'll apply regeneration to me as well. Which ultimately is better than... Well, it's sort of better. Alright, so we have to kill him next turn, pretty much. And we will. And there you go. He's done. Now, the thing with the Ash Pact is, it renewed 5 random cards, but that's good for me. Here's why. That means I don't have to renew them here. They're going to stay in my deck, so really it's paying, ultimately it's kind of like paying for 2 rest points. No, it's ultimately like paying 2 rest points, which is 20 health, for 5 cards, which is 5 rest points, so generally speaking that's a little bit questionable, because why wouldn't you do it if you know you're not going to die? Also, besides the fact that you sort of have to do it as well. In order to win the battle if you don't have any damage available to you. So, Black Grimoire page, non-playable. Well, you could use a non-playable. If you have 5 Black Grimoire pages in the deck of Ashes, destroy them and add the Black Grimoire to your hand. This is slow. Way too slow. Ash Sphere, deal 5 damage to an opponent, deal 3 damage for every other card discarded this turn. I think I'll use this because I'm afraid of ailments, pretty much. But that's about it. Let's see what we can find over here. And a little bit of resources. Do we have any more keys? We have 1, so we can open this, so we can come full circle, and then we can end the video there. Alright, so here's actually good. Here's another example of something. There could be more than 1 enemy, obviously, so you can choose which one you want to target. So this one will do between 5 and 8, and this one will apply bleed and do 2 damage. I think we focus on the weaker one first, because that usually tends to work best. However, I'm going to apply burn to the one in the back because he's going to be alive for the longest. Also, if I can get regeneration, that will help quite a bit. Speaking of, here's regeneration. We do 12 or we do. We have to do it like this. It's more effective because this will straight up kill the wolf, and then we're just left with the boar. Do we have 3 fireballs? Indeed, we do. Now, he switched out. Dash applies stun. Not sure what stun does. Usually it like makes you skip a turn or whatever. So we will see. Again, I'm thinking I should use this. Because ultimately it's better than... yeah, but I suppose the trade-off is it might renew Parasite. And that's the sort of the problem. But regardless... Let's see, what does stun do? The character's forced to skip a turn. Alright, called it. And then he did a little bit of damage. Next he's gonna ram me for 7 to 9. Jesus, that's alright. No, it's not alright, but hey. There we go. Tough little bastard. Okay, so let's restore our health and renew some of our cards, and we'll have just enough to either craft one or restore more HP. Let's restore more HP. Do this. Go to the chest. Whatever. Open the chest. Add a little bit of stuff in it. This is pretty good. This is... it's not very good. We'll go with Pure Fire, I think. That'll help us as well. And back to camp. Ruler is looking for you. Alright. Oh yeah, this will happen as well. He can destroy certain parts of the map. But that's about it. I mean, I've shown you pretty much everything there is to see for a first impressions video. So, ultimately, what do I think of the game? Now I'm going to be a little bit critical of it. Well, usually I start off with the good things. Visually, the game's okay. I mean, it doesn't bring anything spectacular to the table. I think some of the alternative CCGs out there might be a little bit better looking in terms of, you know, aesthetics and style and whatnot. But it's certainly not terrible. I don't really... I mean, this is fine. The monsters and the combat is fine. The animations are a little bit non-existent, honestly, but that doesn't exactly get in the way. It's a CCG, you don't really care that much about the animations. What you do care about, however, is the actual cards and the gameplay. It's early access, so I won't be too critical of it, but so far, it needs more. Straight up stat upgrades like this are cool, I like it. Trading resources is also very cool. It's it looks a lot like whatchamacallit, the oh god. It looks a lot like the Darkest Dungeon trading resource system, but here's the thing, it's not very great. Any of it. I mean, not really. I don't dislike it particularly. There's nothing that I can point out that, oh, this is terrible. But here's the thing. I would love to see more content here. I would love to see more cards. I would love to see different types of cards, different types of decks that you can start with. Because as is, this seems a little bit not enough. And now, don't get me wrong. This is not exactly to the level of that I may be presenting it to be. There's certainly a lot of variety here, and you can do multiple runs and try multiple different combinations, and there's many things you can do, fair enough. But then you take a look at Hands of Fate, you take a look at Slay the Spire, you take a look at games like that. Also a couple free-to-play ones out on Steam. And you see that they have either the same amount or more, usually more. So, I don't know, with 2 characters in total being for the end game, I don't know about it. I'll see how the game develops. I'll play a little bit more of it to unlock new cards and to see how much there is in truth, but it's not even just the number of cards, right? There's also another thing that sort of worries me, is let's take a look at the merchant. Most of these do the same thing. They either apply burn and increase my strength, they either draw cards, or they do damage, and, you know, I guess fair enough. But it's all based around that. You discard, you do damage, you do burn, you're done. I get that that's what the character's about, but in Slay the Spire you have defense, you have block, right? I think that'll be cool. That'll be a cool thing to implement. So certain cards give you defense, give you armor. You lose the armor at the end of the battle, but you know during the course of the battle, you know you can plop down armor. I think that'd be cool. Poison, stuff like that to play around with would be great. But that's pretty much all stuff that Slay the Spire does. And I keep coming back to that game because I see a lot of similarities. And honestly, I think on the whole, Slay the Spire does this better. Mind you, Slay the Spire is now, at this point, a practically finished product. And back in its, however, you know, that's the thing, back in its early phases, it did pretty much look a lot like this, and it still had more content to it. Now, the entire map exploration thing, I think, is a great idea. I think that I'm hoping that we see more of that in the future. Also, as you travel around, these tiles now become unidentified. Undefined, whatever, sorry. Because now, you know, something might have moved there in the meantime, and you don't know. So it's really interesting, and I like the idea, but... I don't know what to tell you. New day has begun, campus has been restocked. Alright, cool. Let's dig here, see what we found. Alright. Found a portal. Ash Storm. Created anomalies. Ooh, interesting. Right, let's go to the anomaly. Ooh, we can actually see which anomalies that it's created. I guess we want to go there, don't we? Draw a card, place the card on top of your battle deck. I don't like it. Draw 3 cards. Nah, I don't like it either. I want this one, though. There we go. We found some ash. Oh, cool. Let's go fight over here again. Right. I mean, you know, I think that's about it. And in terms of enemy variety as well, all sorts of stuff. You saw wolves, hellhounds, this and that, but at the end of the day, apply poison, gain stealth. Okay, fair enough. There's variety in enemies. I can't say that there isn't. Most of the time I had to learn something new every time I fought against an enemy. Plenty of enemies out in the world. I see nothing wrong with that. That I'm satisfied with. I only hope that as time progresses, more cards are added and more abilities and more features are added. Like, there you go, poison. Lovely. Let me play with poison. You know what I mean? I wish there were more of that available off the get-go, and I don't know, maybe you do unlock it later down the line, though I've seen no indication of that. Maybe, you know, who knows? Who knows? But so far, again, first impressions and all that, it seems neither here nor there, right? Not particularly bad, but also... Oh, you gain stealth, I can't. Right. Alright, I should discard these two, we don't need them. Now, the damage over time is still going to hit you. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's about it. Alright, cool. Anyways, I think that's quite enough for this video. It's been going on for 30 minutes. I think I gave the game its due, and I think I've shown you quite enough of it to make up your mind whether you're interested in something like this or not. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the video. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed it. And stay tuned with the rest of the series. Well, First Impression series, which isn't really a series, but what is a series is Metro and CK2 and grand strategy games and RPGs that I play on the channel. So if you're interested, check those out. If not, then I bid you an affectionate farewell. Have fun, take care, and until next time, bye-bye. Oh, by the way, real quick bonus bit. There is a collection of cards in the game, and essentially it shows you all the cards in the game. I have this left to unlock. This gives you shield and stealth. This gives you shield as well, which is the sort of defense mechanic I mentioned, but this one costs 5, this one costs 2. And that's about it. Others are still the same. Add Phoenix, add Burn, Strain, Burn, Strain, Burn. Yeah, I feel like this needs more content for me to completely justify it and recommend it, as there's so many other good CCGs out there that this one is sort of struggling to find its place, I reckon. But, you know, with more work on it, I guess I'll keep an eye on it and I'll tell you how it develops. But so far, neither here nor there. That'll be, I suppose, the last send-off I'm going to give it. Thank you again. Bye-bye.